up in school, I was taught that capitalism and communism are these two diametrically opposed ideologies that are totally at odds with each other. But now I'm really thinking they're two sides of the same coin, or maybe even the same side. In school, we're taught that capitalism is the epitome of freedom, and communism is where they strip away all those freedoms. But from what I've observed, in capitalist societies, those with the most material wealth are able to leverage that wealth to gain control over the government or the school systems or the media. Then they use that power to change the ideologies and change the values of the people in that system and gain more material wealth for themselves. They create this system of total dependence where the average person will never be able to afford a house and they're paying off a burrito for the next 6 months.
So what this man is currently realizing is that not everyone on earth is your friend, and they don't all just wake up and think about your own well-being. In fact, people conquer each other with armies like all the time. It's just that, you see, in the United States, we have a lot of guns. And even the Anglo-Saxons were descended from, culturally, through the British common law system, if you don't know anything about legal systems or history. Saxon means knife man. I still carry a knife around everywhere, so really, it seems to me like the capitalists are using industry to try to conquer you. But I mean, at least they have to provide you with what you want to do it. The communists, they just take your guns and lick the boot, work harder breaking rocks, you know? So it's almost like, why didn't you band together with people? You should do this now too. And use the industrial equipment that those people you're complaining about are using to make themselves wealthy, to make yourself wealthy, and lobby against them. And I get it though. I went to public school in the United States, and I grew up feeling like I had gone to prison, though I couldn't remember having committed a crime. And I'm certain this would have been worse if I grew up in a communist country, but I don't believe this is part of the communist capitalist dichotomy. I don't think there really is a dichotomy between communism and capitalism. Though maybe through means of control by central organizations. Let's see where he goes with this.
Communist system, we see almost the exact same thing, except maybe instead of using political donations and blackmail to control the politicians, the wealthy just hold those positions of political power themselves directly. Now, people will argue with me and say, that's not real capitalism or that's not real communism.
So he's sort of making a very profound point here that I don't think he realizes. He says that, well, in communism, the only difference is that the wealthy just hold those positions of power directly. And whoa. In capitalism, to get power, I have to provide people with things they want, they buy freely. In communism, I just have that power already. Now, because in the first system I gained that power by free enterprise and providing people, people had to choose to give me that power by doing business with me. So I'm likely to defend a system that allows people free choice. In communism, I just have that power. So I'm going to defend a system that doesn't produce free choice.
I would argue that, yeah, it is, because that's what we see in the real world every single time. The theoretical materialist utopias that we see painted on either side are fantasies, they're delusion.
So, we have cars. I'm in an air-conditioned building. The lights are on. This was created by capitalism. That was not delusion. Communism doesn't produce stuff. Anything. They don't. Capitalism does. When capitalism produces things, we say, shouldn't it be more like communism? And then we get more of the problems you're complaining about. You're moving into delusion land. Like, to be very, very clear, the reason the lights are on, the water works, there are cars, and I have air conditioning, is capitalism. Communism didn't produce any of that, so they're not both false gods. One god promises utopia and produces starvation. The other god, principality, promises struggle and produces air conditioning.
And I think that's the crux of the issue here. Both capitalism and communism are atheistic, materialistic ideologies. Their entire
Capitalism embraces freedom because it's based on British common law, which is based on the idea that all men are created in the image of God. We didn't come up with capitalism because we wanted to produce wealth. We came up with capitalism because we believe men should be free, because we believe they're made in the image of God. The fact that that worked was a miracle. I don't think this man understands history.
entire goal is on maximizing some form of material wealth of the society, whether that's through balance or net growth.
No, for all the reasons I just said.
I think a better system would be one that optimizes the spiritual wealth of a people, something that puts the people of a nation first, by creating an environment that is most efficacious for their salvation through our Lord Jesus Christ, rather than focusing on material possession.
You know, I agree. I think we should go back to the foundations of the American and English common law system and really evaluate some of the notions that have risen up since then, because that's what that is. It's what we already have. It's just getting screwed up by people who don't realize that. And should I not add that looking for a Christian utopia was what led the Russian Orthodox communists, the Russian Orthodox Christian communists, the Russian Orthodox Christians to become communist and create hell on earth.